Hello and welcome to Roleplay Rejects, where we play new and unusual tabletop role-playing games. This season we are playing City of Mist, a noir-style game where myths and legends inhabit human hosts, for better or for worse.
I do it too. I feel bad.
Is that what your nose thing was?
No.
Oh, I want to apologize if you find it annoying. If you don't find it annoying, I'm not sorry.
I thought we were doing nose goes
I've
early
never
for that.
noticed you doing that.
I do it I do it like obnoxiously a lot.
I haven't noticed.
If you're speaking and then God forbid you give me but a moment where you try to select the next words, I will select them for you. And I'm sorry about that.
My brain does
I will
that,
try to
so
guess
sometimes
them.
I do it out loud.
Sometimes I feel helpful because sometimes like someone's like, yeah, and I'm like, nice. But then sometimes I'm wrong
what
3
do you
times in a row, and I'm like, I should fucking give this. And I'm like, I should just stop doing that.
It's
I
like,
can't.
It's like a thing.
How would you know? I'm just
I don't know.
What's the thing?
80.
It's one of the many symptoms of ADHD.
Oh.
Because you are too impatient and impulsive to wait for other people to finish their sentences, so you do it for them.
Is that why I do it? That's crazy. Thank you for the lore.
Mhm.
Now I know. And now I have the power to stop doing it. Record these. You think if I took a bite out of it, they would hear it? The mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Audio listeners, subscribe to our Patreon for the sounds of me chewing.
Wesley eats an entire mic.
Cord and all.
You say that like the cord's going to be the hard part.
It's long. Gotta slurp it up.
Ew.
Like a long spaghetti strand.
No.
That's a lot of cord, too.
I mean,
Probably
just
gonna
$1
be pretty
a month.
filling.
If we get a long enough cord, we can have the whole process.
Did you guys
got it,
know
got
Eating,
it.
the
Pooping,
digestion.
yeah.
there are
Ew.
lichen
Lichen?
that can survive in space?
How would we know that?
I don't know. How do I know that?
Reddit?
Twitter.
Oh, fuck. You mean X?
No,
Twitter.
I mean Twitter. But yeah, they had some growing on the International Space Station, and they're like, "What's up?
What
What is this?
What did you say?
Lichen?
Not werewolves.
No, as in like the things that are kind of plants, kind of fungus,
LICHEN.
not LYCAN.
Different.
Man, English sucks.
To be fair,
Dude, I'm sure the listeners were with me. I was like, how the fuck do we know if werewolves can survive?
oh wait, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
They looked at me like I was fucking nuts.
Yeah, but
Nucking futs.
they just kind of absorb the radiation,
That's crazy. I could probably do that.
and they're like photosynthesizing because lichen are like part plant,
Thought they were
so
part
they
wolf.
don't need food.
Where?
The sun is the food.
Like Superman.
No.
You say no?
I think fungus is alien. It's not great grammar, but
I think it's fine grammatically. You just paused weird.
Reddit agrees with you. So I'm on an alien body Reddit. Hey,
Go on. We don't judge.
I can't judge on
Yeah.
r/turtles.
no, you're fine.
No.
And everyone was sharing pictures of mushrooms the other day. They're like, it's got to be aliens. And there was one
Honestly.
that did look very much like a little green man.
What, you mean broccoli?
Yep, that's the one.
Today's sponsor, Whole Foods.
Mushrooms are aliens. Just picture fucking broccoli. Honestly, that would be quality content. I would love that.
Let's do it.
All right,
Someone go to the broccoli
there's
store.
our Instagram post for the day.
Here's a picture
Aren't
of the alien
mushrooms
we talked about in
beautiful?
today's podcast. Had a broccoli.
There's also mushrooms that look like jelly. Like they're actually
you were showing me
transparent.
those.
And
Translucent.
they're transparent, actually.
They got kids. Get it?
What's the difference between transparent and translucent?
Translucent is like kind of see-through, but
Mhm.
transparent is like you can like clearly see through.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I believe
honestly,
you.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
there wasn't one. I had no fucking idea.
It's like frosted glass versus like
Yeah.
colored glass, if that makes sense. Because like
It shouldn't.
Like
It doesn't make
gloss
sense to me.
finish. Like that bottle, that's the liquid is transparent. It's still a little pink, but
Right.
it's
but
transparent.
you can see all the way through it.
Oh.
Gatorade would be translucent. Like light comes through.
But not all the
That's
way
what it
through.
is. Light comes through, but like you're not.
But your
You
vision
can't see
doesn't.
through it.
Got it.
Yeah, but like opaque.
I don't.
What? Come on, man, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just like getting flashbacks to 5th grade.
She
Because
said
they
we're
had-
dumber than 5th graders.
No, I was on academic.
Probation?
That's something like that, like academic detention.
Oh, it was academic
Something
probation,
like that.
probably.
And then so I had to do an extra unit on like light, and all the stuff was ingrained in
I'm-
me.
I'm just confused.
I think translucent is just almost transparent.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
transparent means that light passes through them and does not like stop the light.
Translucent, it's diffused.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
changing it somehow. So a colored liquid is actually technically translucent according
It
to
is?
this random. Yeah.
That's
No.
why I was
You-
confused because you were
I
saying
thought that it was,
frosted
like-
glass versus colored glass, and I was like,
I thought that transparent was just, hey, you can see shit through that.
I didn't mean to start this. Sorry.
No, I've been wrong my whole life, at least since 5th grade.
You come
Wow.
gold.
no.
I can't stop thinking of that. That line is playing on loop in my head. I
I
don't
wish-
know why.
I wish it wasn't.
Me too. Because I wasn't even there for that game. Like I have no frame of reference for anything that was happening around it. The only line I've heard from that game is "We struck Yukon gold." Today's sponsor, potatoes.
I wish.
They're dirt apples.
I love potatoes.
I love potatoes too.
I was gonna say apples because you said apples,
I love
and
apples
then I
too.
realized that's not what I'm supposed to say.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
Are you
What?
looking up translucency versus transparency?
It's quite literally just a graphic.
She's
you
studying
could,
it. She's studying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
look
that's
at-
how I thought
but
it
you're
was.
last.
Then I got very confused.
Oh, okay. So
What is?
frosted glass is opaque.
Yeah,
Which means
because
nothing
you
gets-
cannot
Translucent
really
is
see through.
colored glass.
Yeah.
Transparent
I
glass.
just got
Okay.
very, very confused.
Listeners, be aware that I really like Joseph's nails.
And those are the
Oh, thank
3
you.
levels, I guess, of how much you
Light.
can see through a thing. Transparent would be all the way through. Translucent would be mostly through, but it's kind of like foggy, I
Yeah.
guess. And then opaque is
I can't.
You cannot. Yeah.
All I see is just.
Oh, this one's a good one.
Oh, that means that we're all opaque.
Sorry, we're just passing around little things.
I see through a glass darkly.
What? See through a glass darkly?
Darkly. Yeah. It's a weird translation in the King James Bible.
Hmm.
And there's
No, I met King
a
James.
lot of sure you did.
Why is that so hard to believe?
Mr.
A
James
Scanner
himself.
Darkly is a really weird
I call him Edward.
a really weird movie with
I met James King.
oh man, it's got all sorts of like famous people in it.
The
yeah.
Bible?
Unless that wasn't his name.
Yes, the Bible. No, A Scanner Darkly. So the Bible verse is like I see through this like obscured mirror, and so I don't understand myself, but one day I will understand myself as God knows me, is the like idea of the
Pretty
verse.
sick
Mhm.
verse, honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so there's a movie called A Scanner Darkly, and it's like a sci-fi about this guy who works for the FBI equivalent in their universe, and every day they put on a like head to toe suit that changes their appearance,
Oh.
and the FBI starts going after someone in his own household, and he is not sure if it's him or if it's someone else, and like it's a really good movie. It's got a really weird animation style too. It's got like Woody Harrelson in it. It's got
He
Keanu
just does some
Reeves.
random stuff.
Keanu Reeves.
I love it.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is like one of the main characters. Winona Ryder's in it. She does a
Bro.
lot of drugs. Yeah, dude, it's a crazy movie.
That's like a crazy cast.
It's one of those ones that it feels like they were definitely high when they wrote it, and you would understand it better if you were high watching it.
Today's sponsor, weed.
Dude, it's wild.
It came
We
out
don't
in
actually- we don't-
2006.
Probably
Oh,
acid.
that's like an.
It's an
oh,
older
okay.
movie, yeah.
We're not actually sponsored by or associated with weed.
Thank you for caveating that.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Weak in the knees.
No, hold on.
That was so much better.
Ooh, that was aggressive.
Weak in the
That was
elbows.
quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was long enough.
Isn't it kind of weird that there's so many of these different like energy drink cans that are now the smaller version? Is there something up with
Yeah.
that? Did something happen?
Shrinkflation.
What?
You had to have made that up.
No, that's a real thing.
Shrinkflation is a real thing. Like they make things smaller but don't charge.
Oh, but keep
Less?
the same price? Whoa.
That makes sense.
Let's kill them.
I remember there
That's
was
some
this
bullshit.
I mean, they do charge less, but
Oh, so it's
But like not
not,
comparably
not
less.
proportionally?
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
it does seem like they're moving away from the 16 ounce for whatever reason.
because they hate us.
True.
Like these are more popular or something, but it's like I don't care.
Yeah, they also fit weird in cup holders. So
Yeah,
like,
I hate
They're
that.
all
like,
wobbly.
especially in like the
Wobbly,
car. Like they're
wobbly.
not,
Yeah,
and then they just
yeah.
I can't.
And then you have to
My
drive.
car very specifically has this thing that you can twist for smaller drinks.
that's
Oh,
cool.
To, like,
cool.
Keep it more compact. But that's like one car.
Yeah, that's you're not even that
If
making
you got
model.
a Nissan Sentra,
Only your car.
good for you. You can hold small drinks.
Yeah, but also
Unless
they had
you
an
can't.
Ioniq 5. You freaks.
Dude,
What?
your car is so cool.
It's so cool.
I was looking at the headlights the other day. Like they're square.
Mhm.
Like inside of the little bubble thing. Like it's square in there.
They're cool, man.
It's wild.
They're
We know
retro.
cars.
We know cars.
We know nothing about
Today's
cars.
sponsor.
Inside of the bubble thing.
When I was dating Misty, my front bumper
They don't date anymore.
was non-existent.
No.
I
Oh, I
did.
thought you were going to say it fell off.
Well, it was held on by zip ties for a little bit there.
So it did.
then-
it did fall off.
I was gonna say at some point it
though.
sounds like it fell off.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah, the zip ties holding it all up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I
And
don't
then
even know what
it was
car.
it was the one day that it snowed when we were living in the South,
Mhm.
and he went over like a little bit of a snow bump in the road,
Snump.
and it was gone.
Damn.
It was like
Damn.
officially like the zip ties could not hold on anymore.
Yep.
There's nothing to hold on to anymore.
Yeah, it was tragic.
That's kind of funny.
I missed
Yeah.
that car though. It was a good car.
It was a good car.
What was that?
That was the same car that somebody stole our
It was Camry.
side mirror.
What?
Yeah.
Like someone just yoinked it?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just took it.
Dude, we left it in a church parking lot.
Not
For-
God stealing
Yeah,
that.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
Dude, just walked up in his sandals and
He thinks just because he fucking made the universe, he can do whatever he wants.
yeah.
It was wild. We like came home from Christmas
Yeah, we left it there for like a week. And
No mirror.
and we came back and it was just the one mirror. It
Yeah.
wasn't like they took both of them.
They were
just
only
my
missing
driver's
one.
side mirror.
If
Are you? Maybe they accidentally hit it.
No,
You
it was like precise, like
It's like they took it off.
precision was happening. Like they took out the mirror. The
Yeah, there wasn't glass on
portion
the
that like
ground or
sticks
anything.
out,
Yeah.
whatever that's called, was still there.
Oh, it was just the mirror.
Yeah.
It was just the mirror.
What a weird thing to steal.
That's
Right?
really
Obnoxious.
weird.
I think if there was a second version of me, I could walk up to a car, have me at the front, me on the other side, and lift with my legs and walk off with it. I'm gonna keep it a buck and a half. I think I could do that. I'm a pretty strong guy.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I just have to not lift
How
it.
far though?
As far as as far as I need to.
Yeah,
I
Like all the way to Kansas.
I think I could.
Why would you go to Kansas?
Who knows? Why
I'm
would
so
you
sorry,
lift the
listeners,
car?
if you're from Kansas. I just don't know why Wesley
There's no place like
specifically
home.
would need to go to Kansas.
Hey, it's okay.
No, let them know. What the fuck is in? I'm not sure Kansas is real. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
real.
Also,
That's not
I know this isn't a Kansas thing. Missouri. Why do you have a Kansas City?
Because they want to be Kansas so bad. Which why would anyone want to be
Hey,
Kansas?
Goodness gracious, be nice.
Hey,
We have
What's
one
wrong
listener
with
from
Kansas?
Kansas, bro.
Yeah, okay, but they are
They're not on-
valuable
they're not
even
subbed
if
on
they are
Patreon.
stinky.
So they smell bad.
So
Some of the
it's
strongest
actually
people I know are
pronounced
from
Missouri.
Kansas.
Like who?
Allie.
Machalka?
No, just my family friend Allie. She was so strong. She like professionally.
You know who else is so strong? Probably Alex, the police
Probably.
officer guy in City of Mist.
Police officer
Sorry.
guy.
Let's
Let's get into it. Last
A
time.
fucking transparent, translucent thing.
I honestly forgot that we even had that conversation. That feels like years ago.
The music that cues us that it's time to shut up has been going like there's a full rotation of the song.
8-track and palm rotation.
At least that's all I can see.
Hope we don't get demonetized by Naruto for me saying that.
I don't think so.
If Naruto listens to who wants to talk about what happened last time? I want us to do it as a group. It's really fun when we do
Leslie
that.
does.
Unless
Think-
Misty doesn't want us to do that.
No. I think we should do it as a group so that you guys
Okay.
can talk about like where you left off individually
Okay.
and where your headspace is at before we continue.
I'm holding a knife.
Well, Professor Alexander Cross was going through the not so fun house, TM, and was then dragged and separated from Olivia, and also had a bag placed over his head. Was being dragged somewhere, we believe on little Ferris wheel island. I don't know necessarily what to call it.
You got it.
The inner part of the lazy river. As he was being dragged away, well, I guess since I'm monologuing, it would be me. Well, I was being dragged away. I managed to transport myself back into the library, where I was able to take the bag off of my head, and I'm currently catching my breath.
Orpheus.
Wait, you have to go
Yes.
last.
Why?
Because you
You were last.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go last.
What are you doing, Alex?
My bracelet got stolen and I caught up and I tripped the dude. But then these two clowns fucking had it and they were like, gotta play the game. And I was like, I'll play your stupid fucking game. And then they had 3 cups. They put on a 1 and they shuffled them really fast. But I got eyeballs, see? And so and I was like, that one. And they were like, fuck, man, here you go. And I was like, thanks. And then they ran off like little worms. And I was like, I don't have time for this. I need to find my friends. So I turned around and then I called Olivia back because I had like 2 missed calls from her and a text that said, bruh. She didn't actually text me that. And then, so I called her back and she was like, the professor got dragged out of here. Please go find him. And I was like, will do. And I'm not wearing my bracelet anymore. I'm holding a knife. That is my bracelet because I don't want to get swiped again. And I'm looking for the professor. My headspace is looking for the professor.
I got the professor stolen from me. And then, so I was freaking out, trying to find him, like breaking mirrors and shit. And I couldn't. So then I was like, I guess I'll press forward because it kind of seemed like that was like I wasn't able to find the exit, even though I wanted to. So I went back to the tunnel, moved forward, and then there was like a replica of where I work. And then I was being talked to by Mystery Voice 1. And then
Whose
There were-
voice will change.
yeah,
I just am
Mystery Voice
Putting
2
it out there.
incoming.
yeah. And
same person, just
I was just like,
different voice.
I don't know. I don't remember the full conversation.
You're talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, I
Back,
probably
low-key.
was. I
Yeah,
just
you were
wasn't being
pissed.
cooperative at all.
Mhm.
I was just like unhappy.
And then sorry.
And then I was told to look in the mirror, and then I didn't. And now I regret it because I wanted to know what was going to happen.
Now it's your turn. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. So I went down into the Cave of Wonders.
Bum, bum, bum.
And down in the cave, there was a merry-go-round. It was super creepy. There were lots of wires.
And
I found that one of those wires led down into a trapdoor. So I went down into this trapdoor, left it open just in case anyone want to come save me. And as I got down into this control room looking area, there's like switchboards and like sound control and light control maybe. And there is a carnival worker cowered in the corner. Is that a good recap?
Yeah.
Cool.
Saving so big it'll scare you. Today's sponsor. That's why he's cowering in the corner. Trader Joe's. Not actually sponsored or affiliated with Trader Joe's.
T. Joe's.
No.
I call him Trader because we're boys.
I can't. I hate it here. Okay. I'm trying to figure out who I want to start.
Traumatizing.
Who I want to start with.
You could play Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
I could.
Catch a tiger by his toe.
I could just roll for it.
Just say you hate me
I
and all
don't
my
wanna roll for
suggestions.
it. I think we're just gonna start off with OP. With
Oh, Pythias.
To take notes.
Okay. What does this carnival worker look like? You said they're cowering in the corner. Do they look to be like a certain type of carnival worker, right? Are they in like clown getup? Are they in like all black or something so they can like sneak around behind the scenes? What kind of work are we talking about here?
they look like pretty stereotypical. Maybe somebody who's going to be running like the rides themselves or like the various booths, not somebody who's necessarily like a specific performer. They've got sort of like baggy-ish, billowy pants, and a stripy shirt. For those of you who saw other workers at one point, they were wearing similar outfits. It looks like maybe kind of the uniform, I guess, for generic worker X here. Yeah, so they're kind of crouched down in the corner, just trying to kind of keep their like face away from you. It looks like maybe they were trying to hide, but then realized, like, as you were turning around in this room, that like you were going to see them regardless. The room's not that big, so I guess maybe they were hoping that.
I too pick really shitty hiding spots. He sounds like me.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking like you would be somebody else and then you weren't, or maybe he was trying to hide and that was the best he could do, was just kind of crouch into a ball. But that's
Okay.
That's what you got.
I'm going to ask him, are you the one playing all the music?
And he kind of continues to keep his face away from you, but shakes his head no.
Okay. Can you help me turn on all the lights? Make sure that this place is well illuminated up there?
He just kind of stays in this position and doesn't really move or talk or give you any sort of acknowledgement.
Oh, is he alive though?
Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shook his head. So.
Okay.
Man, he's scared.
Because it kind of reminds me
dead.
of those illusions that we've already seen.
Yeah, but those have always been like moving away from us. This one's like stationary.
Yeah, if you're an illusion, what do you have to be scared of, bro?
Yeah.
If I was an illusion, I'm squaring up.
Yeah, it's just what it makes me think of because like no verbal acknowledgments whatsoever.
That's fair. Well,
This carnival was supposed to be closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask him, like, hey, like, what are you even doing here at this time of night?
So you ask him, and he kind of takes his head from behind his hands and arms, and he kind of peers out at you, and he looks a little bit upset and kind of confused before he says, "This is where I live."
Okay. Man. Can I get a recap about like this carnival area? Like, were we tracking that like people still lived here? Were we tracking that it was like an active carnival? Like, I thought it was closed down for a while now.
yes, that is our understanding of it.
Okay.
The guy's probably homeless out of work because it shut down.
Gotcha.
Or is he's in an illusion world himself?
Can I try and look through the mist, see if he is any sort of rift, illusion type thing?
Yeah.
Or if he's like under the control of a rift?
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
He's rolling. Wait,
Yes, I would appreciate
I have his dice hold
I thank
captive. Today's sponsor.
Okay.
I have your dice.
Oof. Okay. I rolled a 5.
Did you add your?
My 2 mythos.
Mythos?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I rolled a 3 on the die.
What's your current status right now?
My current status is spooked 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
damn.
So if we're subtracting that, I got a 1.
Or maybe you're so persuasive because
Or-
you're spooked.
No, I got a 3.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
No, it would be 3.
it doesn't seem like you can really tell much from kind of your peering through the mist.
Okay.
It might just be that you're a little too worked up.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, there's not like a really strong presence of anything.
Okay. In that case, can I try and investigate around this room? I would like to see if like I can flip on all of the lights myself, and turn off the music because the music's freaking me out.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and roll investigate.
Okay. With this, I would like to use backstage knowledge, jack of all trades,
He's really good at flipping light switches.
Swiss Army knife,
He's
in
really
case
good at-
there's like anything I need to unscrew and like any like control panel type boxes that are hidden behind things. I'm really stretching for this
I
one.
think I'm not gonna give that one to you.
If there's a light switch you can't
Okay.
reach,
I
you can-
think if there was a panel, you have a Swiss Army knife, you can use it.
Okay.
But I don't think that adds to the rule of you finding
Okay.
it.
So with those 2, that cancels out my spooked. So I get whatever's on the die.
and he's gonna roll 11.
And I roll an 11. Thank you,
Wow.
Wesley.
One of them's a 5.
I'm kind of divine.
One's a 5, one's a 6.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you're specifically looking for ways to turn stuff off.
Yeah.
Is that
off and
correct?
on. And it's just
And then you also get 2 clues
yes.
to utilize.
And is this just light and sound controls, or am I seeing anything else here?
It looks like there's just some light and sound controls, as well as like controls to make the merry-go-round that's upstairs like
Go
move.
around.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a monitor, but it looks like it's just a way to test how to like mess with like the lighting and things like that, and then to make sure that the ride itself is working properly. It doesn't look like it's really hooked up to much else.
Okay.
It's not like a monitor in the sense that it's watching anything or has like cameras or anything like that. It's just strictly for the ride. But it looks like you're able to find a couple of switches that look pretty familiar. You've used plenty of soundboards and you've been backstage before, and so you're able to toggle off a few things, and you get the lights to turn on, and you can tell from the hatch that you left open that there are now more lights in that cave area that have come flooding down into this control room. You're able to turn off the sound for the ride itself, but your math rock is still playing.
It's still going.
Mhm.
Dang. Okay. I was hoping I found the source of that. I guess not.
As you go to mess with these controls, though, our good carnival friend has come up behind you, and you notice that he is poking something into your side. If you look down to your periphery, it is what looks to be like some sort of knife that he's got pulled on you.
Hey, we don't need to do anything drastic here. I'm leaving.
He says, go ahead and keep moving. But if you turn around again, I will stab you.
Okay, all right. I'm on my way out.
And so he follows you up the ladder.
Okay.
And it continues to keep this knife reminder
Yes.
near you. Yeah.
As I'm going back through the carousel room, do I see anything that didn't catch my eye the first time around now that it's all lit up?
You notice in the corner, I'm going to make you use one of your clues. I'm just going to make
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
You notice in one of the corners of this cave, kind of like amongst some boxes that you had felt before while you were trying to find the door, there is a really good mannequin-esque looking thing that looks just like your fiance. But from the angle that you first see it at, you can tell that it's not a real person. It looks kind of robotic. And definitely, from what you can tell, is what you were following.
Yeah.
But it's not a person. Looks really close, though.
Dang. Okay. Okay. Since this was my fiance, I probably know at least a little bit of her wardrobe. Is she wearing what she was wearing when she died, or is she wearing something from like her normal everyday wear? Is there something that could tip me off where they got the idea to dress this mannequin this way?
It looks like probably clothes that she wears pretty frequently. She looks very familiar in the sense that like you've seen that outfit, you've seen her hair that way, you've seen her makeup that way before.
Okay.
And now that you think about it, that's a little weird because she was very creative and always was wearing something like different and new. If it was the same outfit, she always like changed her hair up or her makeup, and she was always kind of experimenting that way. So as you think about it, you're like trying to figure out where this would have come from, and you realize that it was probably from one of her like social media profiles. It looks just like one of the pictures that she's posted before. And you also, as you're thinking about it, remember that that was one of the pictures that was also used in her obituary. There's like the main one where they're like, this is their cute face. And then there was like a bunch of other ones that they added in to show how cool her life was. But yeah, that's kind of what you remember as you're trying to figure out where this idea came from.
Yeah. Not looking back, gonna keep walking out, but like, hey, did you dress that mannequin? Where did that come from?
He doesn't really reply. He just kind of pushes you forward and mutters something about you being nosy. And
Oh, yeah. Quite nosy.
He has a right to be nosy about that.
I do, but
You
I'm
should
not
look
going to
back
bring
at the
that
last
up.
second.
Dude, I was like, oh, this is just like that one time.
Yeah.
Oof.
Should look back on the last second.
I'd like. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think anything good can happen if you turn around.
You'll get stabbed. Like, what is there to wonder? And my other thought was, oh, he's like a Boo from Mario. He just doesn't want to be looked at.
Oh yeah.
Now they go, "Wah!" When they
That's
hide.
his myth.
He's Boo.
He's Boo. Yeah. As I get out of the cave, does he let off the knife pressure?
he doesn't.
Okay. Hey, where do you want me to go, bud? Am I going right or left? Because I don't feel like jumping in the water just yet.
He just tells you to keep walking straight.
There's like
There's like
a bridge there.
A bridge right there.
There is a bridge
There,
over there.
yeah.
It doesn't
If you
line up
move the
perfectly.
pumpkin,
Whoa,
can see
that pumpkin's not part of this. Right?
Yeah, he's trying to get you to go on this.
I didn't know that would do that.
That's terrifying. I hate
Hand
that.
it over.
Okay, yeah, I'll cross the bridge towards the Ferris wheel.
Yep. Okay. Moving on to somebody else.
All right.
I don't know.
You could do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But you might land on Joseph again if you do that.
I would just not count him in.
What's fucked up?
Do you want to go to the library and like
So I'm at the library.
right, I know, but like do you want to like talk through that right now, or do you want to have Olivia go first?
You know what I just realized?
Can Olivia go first?
Yeah.
It seems like they know stuff about us. At least someone does.
Yeah.
And so they probably know that you're just going to pop right back in.
Oh shit!
in the
that's
same
fucked.
spot.
That'd be awful. You're like, oh, I got away. It's been 2 hours. I'm sure he's gone. He's just fucking
He's
waiting for you
standing
to
there with a knife.
where you're gonna spawn.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know because.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I guess they did steal your bracelet.
Yeah, but they just wanted to play a game with me. They really spooked you. That would have scared the
Yeah.
shit out of me.
Yeah, I just don't know if they know.
It's fucked up too because you're
Necessarily.
old. You're gonna drag an old man. Not like old, but like older.
Yeah,
I don't mean to be
Olivia
rude.
can go first if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you just not ready?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. So last we saw Olivia, you were in your bar replica, and there was a voice telling you to take a better look at yourself in the mirror. Is that right?
Yeah.
I just don't want to mess up. Starting back up is so hard.
Isn't it, bro?
This is why splitting the party is awful.
I'm
Not
sorry.
no, not for
This feels like a forced split, so
it. It was definitely a forced
don't
split.
apologize.
It's more
I
like
forgive you.
it's scary as a player to have the party split up because you're like, oh man, like what's gonna happen? But as a GM, it's just obnoxious. It's like, bro,
Gotta
now I
remember
gotta make
all
sure that
four
every
scenes.
That's
single
why-
person has. I don't mess up their thing.
Hmm.
Ugh.
I try to keep it
Thank you.
in 2 groups, no more than 2, maybe 3 if I'm feeling really like spicy. Because I too struggle to keep track of what everyone's doing. I struggle to keep track of what I'm doing when I'm a player, bro. I can't imagine being God and being like, "What did you do again?" Like, you know, like, who kidnapped you? You got games on your phone?
What?
So, nothing. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like this.
Okay, so you're kind of left in this area. You and this voice and your thoughts, I guess. But what's your next move? Are you gonna
I'm gonna look in the mirror, I guess.
Okay. As you go up to the mirror, you're kind of expecting, you were just in this like fun house area full of mirrors that kind of change and distort things. But you move up to this mirror and you realize that it's just a mirror. There's nothing kind of wonky going on with it as far as it changing your perception. It's just like looking into your bathroom mirror at home. And as you get up to the mirror, you hear again the voice and says, I had hoped that this moment would come for you. What do you see?
Myself?
Look deeper. What else do you see?
What else do I see? As far as I know, I just see me. Olivia.
Think like internally. We're going
Oh,
like deep.
therapy 2.0?
Yeah. I personally see a monster.
I'm not a monster.
Are you not?
How am I
Don't
a
you
monster?
change how people see things, how they see themselves? Don't you manipulate them? Doesn't that keep you up at night?
Quite literally, yeah, it does. I already was kept up at night in the first place, though, so I guess it doesn't change much for me, but
But it does for those other people. How
Yeah.
do you live with yourself?
Lots of medication.
Interesting. But not a lot of true work. At least that's what I've heard.
True work.
Yeah, you haven't really delved deep. You use medication to mask the feelings, but from what I've heard, you haven't participated much at all while being in therapy.
That's so creepy.
Is this the therapist?
Dude, this is a small voice. I don't buy it. I don't think it is. But a small part of me was like, what if this is just a therapist? That would be crazy. Evil therapist.
Yeah.
Therapists aren't evil. Trust your therapist.
No, they're not. Therapists are great.
You sound like my brother.
Hmm.
But my brother doesn't understand how much work I have put in. Because he's going around functioning like a normal human being.
Hmm.
So he doesn't know what it takes to just pretend I'm a functional, normal human being.
And I do understand that a little bit. But what I don't understand is the need for you to put that on other people.
It's not a need. It's not something I asked for. I've
But
used
you
it a couple
choose to
times
do it anyway.
to be useful for me, but
Hmm.
I don't like using it. It gives me nightmares.
But you still use it to get gain.
Yeah. I guess. I have. But don't people do that all the time? It's just a little easier for me.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm going to let you sit here for a little bit and think. I'll be back later. And for quite a long time afterwards, you don't hear from the voice again.
Oh.
Professor, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
So, coming fresh off of getting all of the bag off of my head and everything. The books, yes. Users, I need the books for OP, Olivia, and Alex, please. And I would like to use a change the game roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
My intent is to Marauders map you guys, so that then one person knows where everyone is, because we've all split up.
Okay.
Oh, and that's not great. I should have tried to pick the fucking tags first.
I feel like Divide and Conquer is actually pretty relevant to this.
I think it's very relevant to this.
Also, bro,
Okay.
Missy's
I know
way
we
over
use it
there.
a lot.
Just lie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So that I have Adrenaline 2.
Okay.
I think that definitely helps here.
Okay.
I mean, after all, like, before you, like, the adrenaline helps you kind of, like, run through your memories really quick sometimes. So that Library of Alexandria hosts books of all knowledge. I think that's pretty much it. That's all that I'm going to be using here.
Okay.
Are you adding Divide and Conquer? Did you include that?
Yeah, so it's plus 5
Jeez.
to this. I rolled 5 on the die, which is 10.
Math.
So I would like to mechanically create a story tag. Friends location.
Okay.
See, because I used 2 power tags, I would have 2 juice.
Yummy.
So one of them to create that story tag, and then can I also do the same thing that I did with Holiday, where I get like those Twitter mood,
The live feed,
live feed kind of things?
the updates.
Sure. Yeah.
No, it was mood, right? That's what you got
Yeah.
for holiday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like the most vague of things.
He's kind of annoyed. Damn, he's all tagged up.
Okay. I need to hold on to this bag. So I request that from my friend or from the muses. They bring me the books, and then I kind of like hand over their books, and then hand onto my own spectral book, and then like their little footsteps kind of like show up on the old map. Okay. Have the bag here. If only I stashed something in here, but I know that you all wouldn't like that. Let's see. No, I can't use that vase as a weapon. This bag will have to do. How long has it been? How long have I been in here?
I would say maybe like 5 minutes. It's been pretty quick. You popped out, you took a breather, and then immediately started trying to get some idea as to like what to do next. And that's when you were like, okay, I can try and get their locations and that'll help. And you kind of started putting the motions.
Okay. I think it may have been long enough now. Let's see.
Do you want to look at their locations
Yes.
now before you go? Okay, so Olivia is in the funhouse.
Okay.
OP at this moment is at the mouth of the Cave of Wonders. And Alex, where are you at?
I
You
would have
were
been walking through the center,
crossing through there,
Yeah.
yeah. So there-ish.
heading towards the fun house.
Sorry, that was loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of midway through the island-ish.
Okay.
And then do you guys want to give him your current emotional status?
I'm worried.
Perplexed. Like confused and scared. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad, I guess. Would be the biggest. I got a lot going on. Mine can just say it's complicated.
Well, at least none of them are hurt.
Mood hurt.
Mood critically
Owie.
ill.
If I
Mood 1 HP.
Mood, save me, Professor, please. So traumatizing.
if I remember correctly, I was near the Ferris wheel, or at least in that general location. If Alex is there, okay. Whew, okay. I hold the bag in my hands, like prepared to put it over someone else's head. And then I will shoop.
Okay. You come back into the real world. And you notice that you are inside an elevator shaft. And the doors are still closed.
Okay, you said elevator shaft. I thought I had
Oh,
yoinked
no, I'm
myself
sorry,
out as
like-
the elevator
Me
went
too.
down.
No. Like you're like in like
Oh,
an
he's
elevator.
dead.
My apologies. You're in like an elevator. And it looks kind of old and dingy, like definitely probably not up to code anymore. But you pop right back where you were. And you can kind of feel without turning around that someone is still behind you.
Okay. Because I was prepared for this.
Mhm.
Was he still in that same spot that he would have been as he was dragging me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know if it's a little retconny.
Mm,
I figured I would be facing in that direction.
no.
Okay.
Because we've established that when you pop out and back in, like you're
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
it's in
exact
the
same
exact
same.
same spot,
orientation.
same
Yeah.
orientation, even. Yeah. Okay.
Because like if you were to pop back on, like if you go to use the toilet and you pop back in and you're not
You're
sitting
standing
on
straight
the
up.
toilet anymore, like
Yeah.
that'd be really weird.
Okay.
What's up?
Oh, I was just saying, like, even if it wasn't that way, like, there's a good you had a bag on your head. There's a good chance you didn't know what direction.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
But
yeah,
also,
that's
you have
like,
shock
so it
value
would
on your
probably
side.
just be a
Because
roll.
you just spawned in front of him. That
Yeah.
would spook me. I'd be
That's
like, what the
also
fuck?
true.
Are the doors open?
No, they're closed.
They are closed.
Mhm.
Um,
When you look at the buttons, it looks like you are
Are you in
not.
here.
So first of all, you can't feel the elevator moving up and down.
mhm.
You're definitely just
Static.
static. But you are not. You can see that the button is lit for what says 5, and then it looks like the button for like closed door is also been hit, but you're not moving. So if taking all of that in, it's likely that you're probably on the 5th floor
Okay.
Mm.
with the doors to this elevator closed.
Okay. 5th floor. Is there anything even in the fairgrounds that like is 5 stories up? Is it the Ferris wheel itself?
It is not the Ferris wheel itself.
Is it this?
It is that. Yeah.
I was
There
like, that
is
just
a
looks like it has
taller
Floors? Yeah.
ish building that's not quite as tall as the Ferris wheel. But it's right there.
I have a question because I don't know if it's ever been talked about. Does his little Marauders map like have a cute little "You are here" thing on it?
I don't know
Or-
if he's ever asked for his own location.
Yeah.
One of
Okay,
my
I just
power
wasn't sure if
tags
it was
is
a
personal
feature.
location though.
Oh.
So I don't know if I think my original intent with that was that like I always know where I am in the world,
Mm.
but it's everybody else that I don't really know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. So I
That
wanted
would
to
be
ask.
cool.
I mean, always know where I am. If I can look at my fucking spectral book,
Yeah.
I can know where I am.
Yeah. There's a little
Um,
symbol of the college that says, "You are here."
But yeah, and based off of looking at the map, that's what you are able to do to deduce is that you're in this building that's kind of towards the front of the Ferris wheel, in sort of the middle-ish of the island. But you don't really remember looking at it too hard as you were
Yeah.
going through the initial.
Can I turn and look at this person behind me? Or do they also have a knife in my back?
Yeah,
Don't fucking turn around.
You can turn around.
How large is this person?
Can you take him?
They seem
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
You're scoring up.
they seem pretty tall.
But are they wide?
You can't really tell how strong they are just based off of like the feeling. But you do get the feeling that you're kind of being like loomed over. Like they're definitely at least a little taller than you.
Okay. Well, I'll like put the bag just in one hand and like dust off my pants. That's a little bit more like it. Where are we going?
And you hear from behind you, we've got a surprise for you. And
Never been one for surprise parties.
Me neither, man.
as he says that, they push you forward and the doors open. And you are in what looks to be 2 rooms that have been combined into one. On the left side, it looks to be like a control room. There's tons of monitors where you can see camera feeds to everything. Bunch of different soundboards and hookup systems. And then to the right, you see what is set up to look very much like the university library. And in the center of all of this, you see a man in a wheelchair who is grinning. He says, Professor,
I'm
we've
sorry.
been expecting you.
Do I know you?
And the person behind you continues to push you forward.
You really don't have to be so rough. I'll walk there on my own.
And
Was that insensitive? I am so sorry.
oof.
First thought, it's Professor
He does
X.
not.
Yeah, same.
He does not appreciate the comment, and you can tell that he's a little bit frustrated.
That's
But-
genuinely a fuck up for me. I was not thinking
I
about
would
that.
I would have said the same shit, honestly. Like, bro, what? Like, it's honestly the goon's fault.
Yeah.
But the goon sits you back down in one of the library chairs and proceeds to tie you up.
Oh,
Oh no.
this is not a fun surprise.
He tries to tie me up.
He proceeds to tie you
Well,
up.
okay. Well, narratively, right? I'm
Mhm.
being moved to
Library chair.
library chair.
Mhm.
Do I know this guy at all in the wheelchair?
Professor X.
No.
Is it fucked that I just kind of want to like see what happens?
You could try politely asking him not to tie you up. I'm sure that'll go well.
Maybe.
But no, you are not fucked with it. I too kind of want to see what happens. As
Yeah.
long as you don't die.
Maybe you could just be like, could we be polite about this? I don't
Yeah,
want to be tied up.
Okay, so he's obviously trying to push me to the right side of the room where the university chairs are. What is the chair like facing this guy in the
Mhm.
wheelchair? Okay. Yeah, I will sit down when he starts pulling out the ropes. Then I will just say, "You really don't have to do that. There's probably no way that I could resist any of you. Anyways, I've never really been in a scrap before. What is this about anyway?"
So as you're talking, you finally get a glimpse of the person that has been behind you the whole time. And you notice that this person is a pretty large, almost traditional looking, like muscle man.
Oh,
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like bald guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
big mustache.
Stripy shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. He's not like,
1775.
he doesn't look like he's huge. Like he doesn't look like a power lifter that like you can think of off the top of your head. But you can tell that that's kind of his role is strongman type. And it's safe to say, based off of like what you remember about the carnival, that it's very deceiving how relatively small he looks compared to like what he can actually lift. You remember going to a show at one point and they continued to just kind of like stack things on him, and he would just hold them, and they were like various weights, like various poundages. At one point there was some sort of like balancing act type thing mixed in where he was supposed to hold what he was having, and then they added on some of the acrobats, and it was like this whole like big extravagant thing.
And
But
this looks like that guy.
this looks like that guy.
Not gonna lie, the carnival sounds sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, quite impressive strength. I remember seeing one of your shows. It must have been 10 years. I imagine he's tying me up as I'm just
Yeah.
talking. It must have been, maybe 10 years ago. It was quite impressive, though. Is it diet or
Um,
it's the nervous talk?
yeah, he just kind of keeps to himself as he ties you up, and then proceeds to go towards the control area. And you notice that there are a few other people that are sitting there. The chairs kind of have taller backs, and so as you're first walking in, trying to take in everything, you kind of thought maybe people were there, but you couldn't really tell. But from this angle, you can see that there's kind of there's your strongman who just went and sat down, and then there's what looks to be probably 2 other people that are sitting at the control desk. But as he walks away, he kind of whispers to this man in the wheelchair, and the man says, "Thank you, Ismail. Now, Professor, I bet you want to know why you are here."
That would be quite helpful. I mean, a simple invitation would have sufficed. Probably.
No, you see, it wouldn't have, because knowing you're much too smart to have come here on your own, just via invitation. Now, if you look at my beautiful array of cameras, you can see each of your friends. You look, and sure enough, there's some sort of camera on each of them. He says, "Do you want to know why I'm so interested in you and your friends?"
Yes.
It's because you are all unpredictable variables in my equation. And I, as a scientist, am here to eliminate unpredictable variables. You see, rifts can't help but follow their mythos. And for the most part, I think I've proven that today. I've proven it many other times prior to today. And in order to get rid of these unpredictable variables, and as I say, eliminate them from the equation, I have to take into account each of those mythos in order to get rid of them. Do you understand?
Well, frankly, no. If you are a man of science and you already have determined that each of these rifts will always follow their mythos, then it seems that they're not quite unpredictable, then are they? And perchance, what would require you to threaten and kill people like David, or I'm going to assume Pauline as well? What would push you to kill these people? What is your goal?
My goal is to be able to explain and to understand. And unfortunately, there's not much of an explanation as to why rifts exist. I can help sort of determine their fate based off of their mythos, but I don't know why they come to be. And that bothers me. You see, I don't like being wrong.
You and I are, well, two birds of a feather in that case, then. Frankly, I believe that was one of my first questions I tried to figure out and kept up running dry. Had to end up putting that on the back burner. But,
So you've wondered how all of this works, but
well, of course.
you haven't done anything about it? You haven't discovered anything?
Nothing new. No. Frankly, it just seems that the myths themselves seem to just become attracted to ordinary members of society. It could very well be simply that they exist in a similar fashion as to their myth, and that attracts them enough. But that is simply a hypothesis. There's no way to necessarily test that theory.
Yeah. That's what troubles me, is the inability to test. Now, if they were eliminated altogether, the question would cease to exist.
You're promoting genocide.
I wouldn't see it that way.
Why?
Because rifts are nothing but a nuisance.
A nuisance.
Yep, a nuisance.
Oh, it depends, I suppose. Someone simply standing in your way can seem as a nuisance, but there's usually an option to just walk around them. Is there not?
No, there's not. But yeah, so he goes on to tell you that he's based off of his hypothesis that rifts can't help but follow their mythos. That he has created these personalized traps to test this hypothesis. And that from what he's noted, each time it's worked. And that this is going to further amplify the research that he needs to do in order to figure out this overarching question of why do they exist and how do they come to be, and like how do we get rid of them. I would love to roleplay that out. I am not a scientific genius. So I'm not going to try and pretend like I have a great monologue for that ready. But you can tell as he's talking to you that he's been wanting to get this out and talk to somebody about it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of like think through the events of this evening, you realize that like there wasn't really a trap laid for you. at least not that you ran into. And so either that would put a point against his hypothesis, right, that maybe you didn't follow this mythos, or that maybe he specifically wanted to talk to you. And it sounds like as he's talking, it seems to you like that the latter is probably the case.
Yeah.
That he kind of views you as almost like a peer.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a chatty one.
Commence roleplay, please.
You be yapping.
I suppose I have questions then. Now, you, hands obviously bound, but I nod at the library that we're in. You've obviously done your research quite well. You managed to even get a scuffed chair. But what is mine? What is my mythos then? What am I tied to and forced to follow?
He kind of looks at you and smiles, and he says, well, yours has been tricky. You see, with yours, I can only make educated guesses. You do have some sort of ability to teleport somewhere. And I've found that you tend to come back with more information than you had before. I'm not entirely sure what your mythos would be, but I do have hunches. I'd be willing to bet that it's some sort of archive of sorts.
Well,
But
I will extend the common courtesy. You are correct. Yes. Now, let us take myself for
as you're
example.
talking, you see him kind of pull out this little, there's like a bag that's on his chair with him, and he pulls out sort of like a file that he starts taking notes on as you're talking.
I just grin because that's the exact same thing I want to do right now.
Did he say his name?
He
He is
hasn't not.
Oh, okay.
But
For my notes.
there is nothing truly to drive me other than what drives you. The intellectual pursuit. Does that necessarily mean that I am one of these unknown variables? Uncalculable? Because, frankly, I am failing to see why a scientist such as yourself would need to, well, eliminate your own test subjects.
As you say that, you can kind of see him get a little bit frustrated. But he says, no. Professor, you're right. You are not an unknown variable. I had hoped that you could help me in my pursuit. Because it is painfully obvious to me that you have answers that I don't. ways to find things that I don't. And I need to be able to find explanations, which you have. I don't know how, but you do.
I assume then that you would want, not necessarily me, perhaps, but a more access is what you are looking for. And am I correct to assume then, you've hinted at it but not come out and, well, just to reconfirm, I suppose, is that you want to eliminate all of the rifts that exist in hopes to, preserve humanity or something? Some other... I try and lift my hands to, make quotes. I can't, so I just do quotes, in my lap. Noble effort.
No. No, you see, all I'm trying to do is bring some semblance of peace to this chaotic world.
Well, then, I believe what you're asking for then is an answer to the human equation, not necessarily an answer to just rifts. For it to truly bring peace, would you not need to solve that? For really, if we look at it, OP, and I'll nod to the monitor that's showing OP, was lured here because you showed him his dead fiance. Would you not be curious? Is that him following his myth, or is that just a man hoping to get some kind of closure? Or there. I wasn't there to see your thing get taken, so I wouldn't have that information. Or there, pointing to Olivia's monitor with my head.
Mm-hmm.
You showed her brother, who is in a weird place, somewhere that he is not normally or would not normally be seen. Would you not go and follow family?
Those are means to get them to the experiment themselves. It's not necessarily that the human portion of the equation is taken out. More that is a way to get them to the point where I can use it for their mythos. And then he goes on and keeps talking. And he
I roll.
he mentions that he says something to the effect of I used to be
An adventurer like you.
Arrow in the knee. Now you can't walk.
I used to be a sleeper too, but he doesn't say a sleeper. I used to be oblivious, is the better word for it. I used to be oblivious too, but my mind has been opened, and he walks you through the fact that I'm reading from the book. He was a genius of applied sciences, and was making groundbreaking discoveries at Helix Labs.
That's a cool name for labs.
That is really
That's
cool.
sick.
It's pretty cool. Before there was an accident that happened in the lab, some sort of explosion that happened, and that's what has left him in this wheelchair. So he starts kind of talking you through how it was difficult for him to not be able to do his work anymore, and how he ultimately decided to go to what he refers to as a brain mechanic. And the verbiage that he uses is very very mechanic, very scientific type terminology, almost to the point where like you can tell that he doesn't really, he himself almost sounds a little bit robotic or mechanic, right? Like there's not a lot of, I don't want to say feeling, because there's definitely like this frustration behind his voice. Like there's a tone to it, but it definitely doesn't sound as robust with emotion as some of the as what you've come to expect from like interacting with people, right? Like for example, if he were to be talking, if him and Olivia were saying the exact same things, his would sound cold and matter of fact compared to Olivia, who would be a lot more invested in what she's saying, if that makes sense. What's up?
I just really want to suggest the word passionate, but I didn't want to cut you off. I thought that would be a good word. I don't know if it works, but I want to say it.
Oh, we were talking about this.
Passion is...
No, not
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say anything.
introspection.
What? My introspection.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. Don't listen to me.
Sorry, pretend I never said anything either.
Me too.
What? Okay. Yes, so he's passionate, but
In an impassionate verbiage or impassionate tone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like
Yeah.
monotone?
No, he's not monotone. It's just
He sounds like a man of science.
yeah.
Yeah. But not like the weird dorky ones.
By like very one track mind type
Oh.
of like, you can tell that like science and engineering and everything, like that's like his focus, and so everything comes from that perspective, right? Like there's not really a him that isn't in that mental space. Does that make sense?
Like he doesn't-
It's like very hard to describe.
Like he doesn't pursue anything because of emotion. He pursues things only because of science. Question mark?
Yes,
You hesitated.
that's what he would have you believe.
Okay.
Like people in and of themselves like have emotions, so like you can never say like, oh, they aren't driven by emotion, right?
I'm not.
But like it does seem like he believes that everything is rooted in his sciences, right? That like he's pursued things
Okay.
based off of science.
It's clicking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man of science who cannot fathom something that exists outside of science.
Yes.
Everything has an explanation. Or
Okay.
needs
There
an
we go.
explanation.
So he's talking about how he went to a brain mechanic.
Does he use brain mechanic, not like neurosurgeon?
You know, he literally says brain mechanic.
Weird.
And he mentions that this brain mechanic helped him regain control over his life. Sorry. Apparently, my throat's dry.
Today's sponsor, water.
It's wet.
It's moist.
Water in of itself is not wet. It actually makes other things wet.
Science.
Science.
Yeah, let us know on what side of that debate you're on. I'm big.
It's
Water's
not a
not
debate.
wet. Okay, let us know what side of that debate you're on. I'm big. Water's
You
not
can
wet.
debate anything, but you can be wrong.
They're
I
just
guess-
yelling
I
at
guess
me.
that's
I'm
true.
on your side. I just want people to
No,
chatter.
I'm saying he's like, it's not a debate. And it's like, you can debate. You,
True. You don't have hair.
Oh, speaking of
like I
which,
said, you
this
can be loud and
I
wrong.
know for a fact that Professor Alexander Cross has had these, like, not necessarily to this psychotic level, but has had debates like these with other professors often. That's probably what he does usually at lunch.
If my name was Alexander
One of
Cross, I would get a
those.
giant cross tattoo on my back, and I would be like, "My name's Professor Alexander," and I would just turn around. Sorry.
That's
Why
Guys.
are you shirtless, though?
Huh?
Why are you shirtless?
Because I'm jacked. Hello? The C in cross stands for jacked.
But yes, he was able to regain control over his life, or he was able to start making strides to regaining control over his life, and that at some point he also mentions that he is intellectually superior to most people, but that's why he wanted to talk to you, is that he felt like you were his contemporary, that you too were someone who had undergone this intellectual evolution, and that people like you and like the two of you were the only people that would be able to create that order in this, again, chaotic world that he's been going on and on about.
This brain mechanic that you speak of, are you referring to mending the broken?
And he kind of looks at you as you say that, not really in surprise, just kind of like he's kind of excited that you knew that, like, he's not like, oh my gosh, how did you know? It's like, oh good, you know, right? Like you already know who that is.
Maybe I'm dumb. No idea. We were talking about.
When she said brain mechanic, I was like, a shrink. And then I was like, therapy.
Whoa.
But also
That was my
mending
first
the broken.
I didn't
Whoa.
think.
Already connected to
To
good old
blacksmithing.
Yo.
So
Oh.
Yeah.
And he
We
says,
were right to be suspicious.
he says, well, yes, I have been working with Dr. Tennant for quite some time, and he's been helping. I even have found the ability to create again. And he kind of motions to the room and to the controls. And he also motions to, if you, right in front of you is the like wall of monitors where you can see everything, right? To the left, kind of closer to the elevator, similar to what OP saw. Obviously, you didn't see this, but similar to what I described earlier.
it's a mannequin.
It's a mannequin, and it looks suspiciously like Olivia's brother. Now, you don't necessarily like know her brother all that well, but I assume that she's described him enough, and that like when she went bolting after him, you were able to kind of glean from what you're looking at in the corner, and what you remember her saying and seeing earlier, that like that's this.
You managed to create these automatons?
And he's so excited. He's like got like fiery passion in his eyes, and he's like, why, yes. And he goes through and explains how he's done this creation, and how he's able to kind of utilize not only the mechanical engineering, but also some of the things that he's learned from his compatriots, which are these carnies, the like smoke and mirrors of it all, and how he's able to kind of implement that idea, that like illusion into his already flawless design, right? Like he's going on and on about.
Do you mind if I actually inspect one of these? I want to know. It is good to hear your descriptions, but I'd like to sketch this perhaps. I mean, after all, you're standing on the precipice of scientific history. One should document these occurrences.
Listener, she's flipping to the page of scientific history that he mentioned.
And actually, it's not the first. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I
just want to say I have like a page and a half of notes on this. Almost 2 pages.
That's wild.
I'm glad.
It's exposition. I need to remember all of this. And I color code it, and there's so much green.
Also,
That's Professor.
Alexander
Sorry.
Cross?
Yeah.
also, I
Professor
do
X?
want to. I think I'm not as adrenaline
Oh, yeah,
At this
he's
point,
chilling. He's
because
in an intellectual debate.
I'm in an intellectual debate, and I've kind of almost forgotten about the ropes.
That's like your home court. You're in your element, as
Oh,
it
no.
were.
Yeah,
Quantum.
I'm getting a lecture, dude, for free. I don't have to pay for
free?
it.
You too can get lectures for free if you go to today's sponsor, Tomy Universe. I'm sorry. I really like ads.
All you gotta do is get kidnapped by a man in a wheelchair.
Sign up today.
I'm just imagining they click submit on the application and bag over their head.
I got accepted.
When you're tied up in a chair, you gotta listen to this guy yap.
And
So,
turns
joke's
out the
on
reason
you.
she like just said it like kind of like
It takes days.
hand wave. Yeah, it's actually torture.
And what they didn't tell you is that you don't get to pick the subject. So,
Yeah.
like, some people get dragged and they listen to some shit they do not care about.
They get to listen to Professor Alexander Cross just talk nonstop about some random
Some
shit.
history lesson that they do not care about.
The history of the bowl.
He says,
Sorry,
Well-
I'm gonna interject. I do want to preface this, like, the whole, like, Professor Alexander Cross is into this right
Yeah.
now. Like, visibly. Like, he's been, like, leaning forward and been like,
Wait,
what?
don't worry about it.
What?
You have to say it now.
Because you said he's into this visibly. Like it just had different implications in my brain.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. It makes me sound like a weirdo. Editor, cut that out.
No, leave it in. I almost want to say it. But it's funnier to imply. That's not what he meant.
That is
listeners.
not, hopefully.
Hopefully.
so he's like, well, Professor, I can't necessarily just let you sketch my designs, but I can bring it closer. And he kind of motions to one of the other people that are working over at the control area. And you see this rather thin looking gymnast pop up. You can kind of tell she's a gymnast because she's like literally like chilling in like her leotard type outfit.
Does a cartwheel over to her.
Essentially,
The leotard
right?
actually reads, I'm a gymnast. She flips over.
But she goes and kind of wheels this robot-y, mannequin-y, automaton type thing toward you, and you notice that she has her entire lower jaw. It's been replaced, and it is now metal. And as she speaks, it sounds like maybe something is out of like a voice box, like a speaker, instead of something that's more human. And it's kind of creepy. It's got like her teeth are just kind of like pointy little like jaggedy metal pieces instead of like teeth, which is interesting compared to like the mannequins that you've been seeing that are so lifelike. This does not look nearly as finished or
Okay.
as complicated. But
Okay.
she wheels it over to you, and you're able to kind of look it over.
This is quite incredible. Myself, I end up creating dioramas of various ancient battles and the like, but get this level of detail at this scale is quite impressive. This must take you days, weeks even.
And he kind of is nodding. He says, well, I've gotten it down to a science. It's a couple of days. It did used to take weeks, but I've made plenty now that they ultimately look they start all the same, and then they end up just changing the appearance on the outside, but that doesn't take nearly as long as tinkering at the beginning did. And he kind of keeps talking to you.
Mhm.
We're going to head on over
Yeah.
to Alex.
I was gonna say, ask him if he killed Pauline.
There I am, walking.
There you are, walking. What are you doing while you're walking? Trying to find the professor somewhere.
Yeah, my idea was, after getting off the phone with Olivia, was to just head, because last I knew they were going to the funhouse, and Olivia said that he was dragged out of the funhouse. So if I've seen no signs to him up to this point, I was just kind of go in that direction and see if I could follow like tracks, signs of a struggle. If he left a neon sign that said, "I got dragged this way," just looking for anything out of the ordinary that might point me to where he ended up.
Okay. So you're kind of mid Ferris wheel area at this point. And you can, if you go straight, you would be able to tell. Wow, speaking is not my thing today. I'm so sorry.
You could hum it.
No, I don't think that would help. I think it would make it worse. You're about mid Ferris wheel, and you know that kind of directly in front of you, over the lazy river, is where that fun house is. So you kind of keep going straight. I'm not going to make you roll for this simply because, like, if you have eyeballs, you would probably see.
I think I have two of them.
You do have two. That there are definitely some drag marks in the dirt. And it looks like there's maybe... doesn't really look like wheels or anything like that. It looks like maybe like shoes or something that are being dragged. And you kind of see them coming from straight in front of you and looping into this area here to the left of you, where there's like a couple of buildings. And it's at those buildings that there are kind of these plasticky sidewalks that are built, and so it's not really like, you can't really see the drag marks anymore. But you can kind of deduce that he was dragged into one of these buildings.
Okay.
From where you're standing, is there anything else that you would want to look for, or would you be kind of dead set on specifically looking for signs of the professor?
I would be mostly looking for signs of the professor, like almost completely, but I do want to keep an ear out to see. I guess I'm going towards the professor TM is my goal, but I do want to keep my ears open to know if I'm getting further or closer to the hammer tinking that we've heard. I'm not necessarily going to change course if I am getting farther from it. I just want to be aware of that.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me.
I'm rolling.
And look beyond the mist roll, because you've kind of been distracted a little bit since your last roll.
My look beyond the mist is
3.
Yeah, because it's your mythos, right? That is a 9 on the die. Am I so annoyed? I don't think I am. Maybe though.
If you don't think you are, we can take that away.
Okay.
Because you're no longer like
Playing
messing
dumb
with
games.
Yeah.
Running.
So if you feel like you're done with that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
So 9. I got 6, 9.
Okay. Sorry.
I do think I'm done with that. I don't have the tag physically anymore. I just remember that I had it. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I don't know. You know.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So you are kind of trying to figure out where that hammering was coming from, and as you're looking into the mist, you realize that it is definitely much closer than it was before. It's quite loud at this point. But you're not quite sure where it's coming from. Around this time, sorry, I'm trying to like
She's getting
orchestrate
the timelines together.
the timelines, making sure that I'm not like. It's about this time that OP would be near the bridge area.
Like still being escorted by homeboy.
Okay.
From there, you've got the big Ferris wheel in between the two of you. But it doesn't fully obscure view.
Okay.
OP, would you be observant enough to see Alex is my first question. My second question is, if you are, would you risk yelling out with a knife at your back?
Let's see if I'm observant enough. No, I don't think I am.
What'd you get?
I think I'm too stressed. I got a 5.
Okay.
You don't have anything to add to eyeballs?
Yeah, I was gonna say like.
Not to like real person eyeballs. If I'm looking for dead people, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah,
I love how
I think I'm too stressed. I think I'm.
That's
yeah.
fine. That's okay.
I love how
like I
inner
imagine
you
your
are.
eyes are looking forward, but all of your attention is to this
Is
fucking
on the knife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. Alex, do you think you would be perceiving enough to see OP?
I think
Because you're in a position where you could feasibly see him, but are you more focused on the professor?
I think it depends on when he pops up. I think if as I'm approaching the fake town but haven't gone into it yet, I think there's a distant chance. I think if I've already followed the drag marks into the couple of buildings, then it really just depends, I think, on how loud the bridge they walked over is. Because if I could hear like wooden footsteps, then I'd probably look over. But if I couldn't, I don't know if I would look over. I don't know when, like exactly when he walks by, right?
That's
Because if he
true.
walks by and I'm here and I haven't like turned into the buildings yet, I think there's a pretty good chance I notice.
Okay.
But if he walks by and I'm like,
Looking at the ground.
looking in the other direction, then I don't know if I would.
So I personally don't think you have started to like
Explore.
explore the buildings in particular
Okay.
at this point. Because in my mind, you've been trying to like take in
Everything.
as much as possible to help make sure that like you understand the situation that you're going into, because you don't know how dangerous it is for
Everyone
the
involved.
professor.
Okay.
But I'm gonna leave that up to you. I think we can always roll for it too to see if you see him.
Okay. I do think. I mean, if it's cool with you that it would have happened before I'm in the buildings proper,
Mhm.
then I do think I would have seen him. But I
Okay.
can roll for it if you want me to roll for it. I don't mind
No,
rolling
it's
for
fine.
it at all.
I think let's just say like
I see him.
as you're
You also have the alert.
Looking.
power
Yeah, I was
tag.
gonna
No, I
say,
don't.
Did you
burnt.
burn it?
I burnt it to get my bracelet back.
Dang. Okay.
yeah.
I don't know if that changes
Rip.
your mind at all.
No, it doesn't.
I just can't use that tag though.
no.
But I am still a cop. I'm really good at eyeballs.
Yeah, I think in
I did recently level up my eyeballs.
and in my headcanon too, right? Like there's a lot of like moving going on via the different rides and machines, but there's not like a lot of people moving. So I feel like
that's
that
true.
would catch your eye
Mm.
almost automatically. Unless you were super stuck into looking at the ground. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm cool that if you see him.
Do I see them both, or do I just see OP at first? And if I do see them both, I know we just established OP doesn't see me. Am I noticed by?
You don't notice the person behind OP. You also are not noticed by the person.
Okay.
He is
Then if I only see
very
OP,
actively just
I will
low-key
say
stabbing.
across the fairgrounds loud enough so that he hears me. I will say, OP, where have you been? I've been worried about you. I don't remember if that's the exact line, but it's close enough that that's what I'm yelling.
I am going to try to sprint towards the
He's
cop
just like my friend.
because I want to get away from the knife, and
Okay.
I know that he is a protector / maybe has some sort of weapon to.
Hey,
keep
I
Yeah.
do
me
have
safe.
my knife.
Okay.
So
bared.
I am running,
Okay.
bolting.
OP, where have you?
You're like, we haven't talked about P yet, but this must be safe.
I'm out of here.
Safer than this guy.
Okay, as you see him sprinting towards you, does that worry you at all?
yes. As he,
Are you
Um,
concerned?
before, is there no intervention from the carny? Like, does he manage to just?
So he manages to sprint away,
Good.
but he is being pursued. And now you can see this guy with a knife running towards OP. And now you.
Alex, behind me, help!
Where have you been? I've been worried about you, and I'm gonna bear my knife like this. Brandish is what the word I was looking for. My knife is not a bear.
I'm gonna run behind him and do the like scared child thing
Jesus
where I
Christ.
like hold on to his back, like get him. But I don't say get him. But
Get him.
I'm like hiding behind him. It's got him in between me and the crazy carny now.
I'm gonna focus on the carny because he did not have a knife. OP did not have a knife. What's up with it? Is he running at me too?
Yeah, he's running. He's like, it looks like he's trying to re-catch OP.
Okay.
But I'm sure as he notices you as well, he's kind of doubling down. Like, I'm already running towards them. Like, it,
No, I'd turn around. I would just be like, ooh.
As he
It's one guy with a knife versus one guy, like
Well-
two guys
Sorry.
and one
as
husband.
he oh, I thought you were someone else.
my bad.
Oh.
What? This is a fake knife.
Yeah, look.
Like one of those collapsible
Yeah.
ones.
As he approaches, I do want to make it a spear now and like hold it at length. And I say, if you come within reach of the spear, I will stab you.
And he kind of like throws his own hands up, but he does not drop the knife.
Okay.
He kind of says,
And I also do want to grab OP.
actually, hey,
Oh.
I'm gonna make you roll a convince.
Okay, I'm convincing. I'm
Oh.
convincing.
This is very important.
Hey, now I'm stressed. I'm
Uh-oh.
stressed.
Why did you say that?
Because
Convince. Convince, you say. I do not have alert. Damn, I'm not very.
Do you have a tag that says, please don't stab me?
I have a tag that says I'm really good at stabbing you.
I feel like that's pretty
I guess
intimidating,
I guess
right?
I could
Your
use the
form
scary ones.
Work.
Because-
Like the violent ones would add, I guess, to intimidation.
Yeah, because
Okay.
convince is for intimidation, persuasion, command, charm, seduce, negotiate, any of those. So,
Then I have. Would my bracelet, would the tag turn into any weapon help for this? I know I'm doing that. I don't know if it applies to this.
I feel like that would be pretty intimidating
If
if
you
all of
see
a
a
sudden
guy
a
holding a
knife,
knife and it's a lance.
spear.
Did I say spear? It's a lance, is what I
Fully
want to
brought a
say.
a
knife to a
lance.
spear fight. Lance
Okay,
fight.
then if I can use the scary ones, I think I have a lot of applicable tags. I have turns
Okay.
into any weapon.
Mhm.
I have none of these ones. Maybe. Sorry, I was looking at my bastion ones and I was like, maybe unbreakable, or if not, maybe that'll come up in a second. I have turns into any weapons. I have ultimate fighter. I have ruthless. Maybe parry. I don't know if you want to include that one. That one also might be relevant in a second. If you
Yeah, I think that one's more relevant in a second potentially.
Okay, any weapon,
no.
ultimate fighter, ruthless, all out attack. I think that's it.
I think all out attack
Also,
would
not
be
yet.
later too.
Okay.
So I'm going
Um,
to say you have 3.
I'm going to say 2 because I also have innocence involved as a weakness tag. I'm not sure if this is OP yet, but he looks scared shitless. So I'm going to assume
Okay.
he is an innocent involved at the very least.
Okay.
You gotta tell
Thank
him
you.
that you.
So plus 2.
You've also
P.
I feel like hear me out.
I'm hearing.
I feel like
I have 2 ears.
your divide and conquer
I was going
tag
to ask about.
would work in this situation because you are in my mind, like you are extra intimidating because your friends are in
My
trouble
friend
and
is
they're
the
out.
innocent involved.
Yeah, and it's like
That makes sense to me.
that type of.
It. Yeah.
I'm not explaining what I'm thinking very
they,
well,
like,
but
divided and
yeah.
stronger together.
Well, I think it's
I don't know
it's
how to
because
describe it.
because I know we split up. I'm more concerned of making sure we're all safe.
Yes.
Right.
Okay,
So like,
yes.
yeah.
the
Thank
fact-
you.
Yeah. Okay. So
You get it.
plus 3
I knew
total.
the feeling. I didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what you meant, and I did. I just explained it really wrong.
I get it. Same.
I'm gonna roll now.
Okay.
Oh. Ooh.
That one looks good. What is this? Can you read this for me?
That's a 3.
That's 9 on the dice. Plus 3 is 12.
Uh-huh.
I got 12.
Sick.
Damn.
Okay, so he kind of puts his hands up, right? And he's still holding the knife. But then he gets, like, you can kind of see him start to, like, shake a lot. Like, he's quaking in his boots. And
His timbers
Drops.
look shivered.
he drops the knife. He kind of stares at you for a little bit and then sprints the other direction.
Jesus Christ. I'm supposed to give everyone voting for me. I'm going to grab OP. I'm going to unpeel him from my body.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say, if you do not react to my next statement correctly, I will stab you as well. Where have you been? I've been really worried about you.
I was down in this cave and there was a
Oh, P. No.
and there was a there was a
I'm going to turn.
carousel thing. That we're in a carnival now.
I'm going to turn my.
And this is where we end the episode.
Oh, son of a bitch.
No, not my
Opie's about to
boy.
get stabbed.
Sorry, I know you have something you
No,
want to
it's
do.
okay.
You're
it's
going to
okay.
do it at the top of the
that's
next.
That's fine. I didn't use a weakness tag.
I'm just too sweaty. We've got to like take a breather
Yeah, we
before we
do.
keep playing because like
My pen's not penning.
I'm stressed.
I'm
Dude.
very cold.
I
Pick one.
also just love the trope of like, you know, intellectual trying to have just the intellectual conversation, even though he's a fucking monster.
Mhm.
But he like sits you down and tries to like logic out his plan. It's
Yeah.
so good.
You know what trope I love?
Hmm.
It's not relevant to this.
Say it.
I'm blinking. I'm
That's
sorry.
a good trope.
I'm like a little embarrassed because I'm
You don't have to say it if you don't want to.
no,
At least
no,
tell
I'm
us.
not embarrassed about it. I just forgot. I'm embarrassed about forgetting. Oh, it happens mostly in K dramas and webtoons, but when there's like a mob, like mafia type,
Mhm.
and then like the protagonist somehow ends up being like the leader of like the unwilling leader of them, and they're just dedicated to them, and they're like, please go away, please stop calling me boss. And I don't know what made me think of that.
I'm
but-
glad you clarified what type of mob you were talking about because my brain literally morphed from like a group of people with like pitchforks
Yeah.
into like one person
thinking,
with
like,
like a
Beauty and the
hat
Beast.
and like
Yeah.
like a suit. And then you were like, but mainly in K dramas. And then I was like, oh, I don't even know what that looks like. My brain could not.
This guy probably has all the carnies like allied with him because he has been doing,
Brain
I'm going to
tinkering.
do some very heavy quotes here, medical procedures for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, bye guys.
See ya, you
deuces.
stink.
Later.
What the fuck?
Bye.
What the fuck?
life that he was given, right? Because he was no longer as
I'm sorry.
Golly.
Damien's stomach growled so loud just now.
That was wild.
That was
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
sorry. I can't help it.
I want to know if we picked it up on the
I
mic.
pray you picked it up on the mic. Otherwise, we're going to sound crazy.
We'll just raise the volume of that section.
he talks about how like he was having a really hard time. You need to eat.
Damn, we can
I
take
don't
a
think
second
so.
if you need us to, bro.
Yeah, let's take it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Have you eaten today?
I did, yeah.
Are you sure? It does not sound like you've eaten in your life.
That's what it was like the other night.